mentally reset, how to get themselves back into the game. Starting on the T side of Mirage, as Sinners looking to do the impossible, as you said, 15 map wins in a row on Mirage for forZe. They are the team to beat. That's reflected in the 1x bet odds, almost identical for these two rosters, as Zorti picks up the P250. Now Meza gets his hands on the utility.
Yeah, those odds actually, as you were saying, pretty close. I was expecting maybe on this map specifically for things to tilt a little bit more towards forZe, but the map lead, of course, helping out Sinners. And a great opening kill from CSGO is going to do so as well. They've got a 5-on-4 here in the early moments and do have a strong position, I was going to say, to play for this A retake. It was a bit of an awkward spot with the kit around stairs, but Shox just bails out. He falls back off to his teammates, and they're going to look to, as I said, just play for this retake with the advantage.
Perfectly placed to do so. Oscar's spotted one, I think, just about. Zedko gets yet another pick onto Zorti. They're thinning the numbers far too quickly here. One more for Oscar, and Almeza on his own in no man's land. Nothing he can do at all. They get the bomb down, sure, but not a single frag to the T side of forZe. Oscar will get the defuse. That's to help him build up a little bit more cash as well, as Sinners are playing 3D chess here. A perfect pistol round, and that is exactly the start they wanted. You know, we talk about how dominant forZe are on this map, but if they can suck the momentum, suck the life out of this T side, they can maybe do a new call over again.
I mean, I don't want to think about it yet, because I feel like I'll probably just jinx it even by putting the thought in my mind that Sinners could somehow manage to get a game that's as convincing as Nuker or Mirage. It feels like it should be impossible, as we were saying, about how good forZe would be in here, but I don't know. That's what I love about CS. These impossible things happen sometimes. It's about how you perform in the moment, not how you performed for your last 15 games. Overall, that really doesn't matter once you've got over those games. Obviously, you need the wins to get to this position. But if you can't perform in the moment, then it doesn't matter. But yeah, such a tremendous... Is that been all clean pistol rounds? I don't think we've seen a casualty in the pistol rounds yet, because I'm pretty sure forZe managed to keep all 5 standing on the one day one and nuke. Then Sinners swept up that second pistol round, and now have done the same here in the beginning of Mirage.
Gives them a fantastic platform to build off of. This time, though, forZe do at least get that bomb down. So forZe comes in. 3 Galils, 2 Deegs, utility to get the fast split into B, looking like the call. Top mid control has to be conceded. CT side economy, as everyone knows, a vicious beast at the moment, so not really able to contest the early mid control. Don't even have the utility to be flashing your man back in to try and get some damage. That's a nice nade, though, chipping away at Almeza and Jerry. As they do look to try and pile some pressure onto this B site. Got a slightly isolated man on short as well. Well set with the 3-man setup over on B, though. The first frag goes the way of B-Stick's MP9. Jerry at least able to trade for 1, but still, they have 2 players on this site, and I'm not sure the man up on Ninja will be expected by Jerry. Already down to 58 HP behind that nade. Teammates looking to start flooding in support, but Jerry, no idea at all. Just absolutely executed. The Molotov on short keeps them out as well, and forZe, they're going to have to change the play very quickly here, looking to double back, loop into this A site with Flit acting as the spearhead. He's got Shock up close and personal, gets good damage onto him. The wallbang not quite able to connect, but he'll get it at the second time of asking. And 3-on-3, they've got the A site.
Looking to continue taking some of these fights, it seems. Could have been quite dangerous, and they have actually taken a small bit of damage off the back of it. But at least it has been exchanged back towards Neofrag. B-Stick, though, holding on. Flash comes through a little bit too deep. He's able to avoid the flash. Flit's going to be punished for it. And as you can see now, swinging in from CT with his Galil on towards the low-health player. It is going to be too much for them to handle. Suddenly, Kenzie's left alone, and he's only good for 1 before, again, just being overwhelmed. Overall, though, I mean, pretty good success is found. The problem is it was the full investment, so they definitely would have liked that round win. But at the very least, the bomb goes down. They do some fantastic damage, and then going in towards the gun round after 1 eco here, they should be able to get pretty much everything they could ask for. And, well, should be able to pull out a few pistols here as well.
Gonna go for it. Full-blooded force. Zorti will have his hands on the AK-47, as will Flit. It's not a bad buy by any stretch of the imagination. Having taken Sinners down to just 2 players, their reinvestment will be significant. Oscar, 4 kills to his name, a defuse in the first and second round, I believe. Manages to get his hands on the big green. Full utility behind it as well could prove significant. Gonna go for the early pick as well. Lands it right as Flit looks to cross just before the smoke starts to blossom. Gets the early man advantage once again for Sinners. It's Oscar firing on all cylinders on that AWP at the moment, and they're going to go for re-aggression again. B-Stick catching the spray down onto Zorti, just not quite aware of it. Player on the boost, unexpected, and forZe just being dismantled by Sinners here. It's easy picks, 1v1s across the board, and kenzie, well, he's left wondering where on earth his team have got to. 1v5, needs some damage out of this force fight, needs to at least take some rifles away, will win his first fight. Good spray down onto Beastic, but he's been spotted out now. The damage is surely done, just a matter of time until he's eliminated, and NeoFrag will make sure of it. A clean 3-0, a solid start from Sinners, looking to take full advantage of that momentum coming from Nuke.
It's carrying over. It's actually carrying over a little bit better than I expected. I'm not going to lie. Pretty dominant here, at least in these initial rounds. Obviously, it hasn't been the full buy as of yet for forZe. But it just seems like things are kind of continuing on without too much of a, I guess, fluctuation in performance. You've got Oscar doing his job on that op. You've got Beastic still playing a pretty fantastic role. Zedco helping out. It's even the same players so far who are in the same positions pretty much on that scoreboard. Shock's just chilling. He has plenty of time to get going. Don't worry. We'll hook some jumper cables up to him and get him started soon.
Knew the dad jokes were coming. It was just a matter of time. forZe needs something out of this round, though, for the Eagles. Hoping for some clean one-taps, some rifles taken away, some damage done, maybe even cheesing a plant out of this. The early momentum still very much in Sinner's favor as now they look for the set piece in towards mid. kenzie probing the underpass, run boost to get the man out top mid. Molotov, though, forces them back again. Sinners with a good read on this situation. NeoFrag and Zedco well set to receive this. Well, utility goes down, buys him a little more breathing room, and there's the flash. NeoFrag gets the first, spots the man close to the smoke, and is good for the adjustment as well. The spray is good for 2. They're at least able to trade 1 frag back, but the man advantage still very much there. Rifle will be recoverable. Nobody there to protect it, but they're losing numbers all the while. Zedco trying to catch the frag onto Flit as Shock takes out his teammates. The nade instead will chip him down to 3. Just about cleaning up these kills now. kenzie looking to make it competitive at the very least. Finds the headshot onto Zedco, but they're thinning the numbers all too quickly. And Flit on 3 HP has got the 1v3 to contend with. It was never going to happen. The damage is good, but not quite enough as Sinners keep chalking these rounds up. 4-0, they keep the AWP, they keep the AK, and forZe will finally have their bye.
Yeah, after quite a while. I mean, you don't see this too often anymore. What is this? Old economy CS? Damn, that feels like it's how long ago was that now?
Don't even, man.
I don't know. I can't work that out in my mind anymore. I used to be like, I haven't played CS that long. I've only played since like 2014 or something. And now I'm like, oh, damn, Jesus, what year is it? But here we go. Unfortunately for Zork, he's been naded up pretty heavily. So they do finally get that buyout. They get it off even in play, but it's not going too well for them. At least not up until kenzie gets the lineup, the spray down on the Shock and Oscar. And again, the trades are going to be brought back and forth. And this time, unlike what happened pretty much every time on Nuke, it will go in favor of forZe and continues to do so with Jerry catching that timing on NeoFrag. Oh, and just through the edge of the smoke. I think the foot was spotted there by Flit. Fantastic work there from forZe. They come alive in a pretty quick round as well. And I've actually left most of Sinners in a position where they can't afford to buy. This is going to be a tough decision to make.
Big call to be made here. 6th round, and their economy is once again on a knife's edge. Looked like a couple of players just got caught looking at their minimap, but Sinners are going to send it with the full buy. Double AWP setup being pulled out. They are throwing the kitchen sink at this one. 2 Deegs and an MP9. All they can afford to support this double AWP buy. Shock will get the secondary duties. Takes it over towards the B bomb site. And unfortunately for Sinners, that looks like the wrong call at the moment. The A set piece is being lined up. And currently Zedco is alone to receive it. Just a Deagle in hand. The rotations are starting to come through. But will it be too little too late? Zedco tucks himself in under dark, trying to buy himself just a little bit of breathing room as the pop flash comes in. He's got 2 players full blind. He gets 1, but not the second. Almeza just about able to adjust in time as a couple of the Deagle shots are whiffed. He's bought time for the rotations at the very least, but the numbers are keeping being thin. Almeza with another clean headshot onto Oscar's AWP. And this round is in utter disarray. Beastic doing what he can to steady the ship, but it's only a 1-for-1. And Shock, well, he's had that AWP over on B this whole damn time. He will get 1 from short at the very least, but he doesn't expect the man bottom gone. Flit rips his head off. It's a 2nd round on the board for forZe, and they've broken the economy of the CT side.
Yeah, I'm liking what we're getting from them now. Coming straight alive. To be fair, you expect them to be able to do this. On Nuke, a map that they really aren't too comfortable on, I think they only, like, I think they played like maybe 10 times in the past few months and just haven't had good stats on it even within those few games. So you'd expect them on the T side especially to struggle to get going if they hit a bit of a brick wall early on. Not the case here at Mirage. Again, they know how to win on this map. They've done it 15 times in a row, and they'd done it quite a lot even before that streak got going. So one that they definitely will be more than comfortable on. And while Sinners, despite having that strong early start, it's still a position where forZe could very easily snatch control. So they're going to be fully focused now on trying to get back into the gun round and ensuring that they have everything they could work with. The only thing is they won't quite have it, I don't think, in this next round. Yeah, if they want to pull out the op, it's going to be lacking it. It'd be glass cannon. The nades won't be fantastic either. They'll very likely go for the buy, don't get me wrong here. But I would have loved if they could somehow manage to just kind of push it off to the next round. I understand not doing it, but it's just when you don't have the op, as I said on Oscar, when the nades aren't perfect, and when you're against the forZe like this on Mirage, I think you do need to prioritize ensuring you have no weaknesses at all to your investment.
Yeah, it feels like they need everything or nothing, right? Putting Oscar on that M4 less than ideal. They're going for something a little proactive off the back of it, though. Pushing up mid with 2 players. They've got an isolated fight on Flip, and he does very well with the flashbang. Keeps them out of the angle, and they're actually going to have to bail out of it entirely. They've left the A-bomb site wide open. Jerry already through to Sandwich. They're scrambling to get the recovery, but meanwhile, forZe sending 2 players over towards the B-bomb site. Then by no means committed with this bomb. And again, Sinners in a little bit of disarray here. They've got nobody home on the B site. Jerry will be left on A to lurk. And meanwhile, they are just creeping out B. The interception is going to be critical here. Zedko on the minimap in the top left-hand corner has made his way out of underpass. If he can get the kill on Planter, if he can catch the timing, it's everything. He gets the kill on the AWPer instead. Spots out Kenzie, spots out the bomb, calls for the rotations, can't quite land his shot, but he's bought time. He's done all he could possibly do in that situation, and Sinners are just starting to work out what's going on here. Almeza should have a freebie. NeoFrag, no idea he was that aggressive already. And 3-on-3, they've still got to deal with this flank. Jerry takes out the A-site player, and it's a 2-man retake from the apartments.
And not really ideal, especially when you have Kenzie, who should be able to get that info relatively early on. I mean, you've got pretty much no money in that reserve, $0 on both players. You've got to just decide to go ahead and carry over these weapons. 4 in a row for forZe. We had a stretch of 4 rounds at one point being picked up for them back on Nuke. It was the best they were able to do, and then they were just shut out for the rest of the game. Don't think that's going to happen here again. Instead, now Sinners, they seem to be kind of on the flip side of things. Flip side, you remember them? What happened?
Throwback again.
Where's Markelov, actually? We could get Anders ranting for years about him.
Gotta stay present, Dean. In the here and in the now. forZe leveling things out at 4 apiece, and again, just no real money there for the Sinners. They are going to take the time out, try and work out what on earth they want to do with this one. B-Stick and Oscar, of course, saving a couple of rifles across, but nobody really able to join them. You could maybe drop a couple of fan masks, but as you said, like to see them pushing it back, like to see them getting the full buy. The AWP, the utility.
Yeah.
Feels like they need it here. forZe are not going to let them off with some cheesy plays with pistols. It needs to be full-blooded. It needs to be everything at every round if they are going to make this first half competitive.
Doesn't seem like they're even really bothering with the pistols so far. We have a smoke onto a couple of players, both NeoFrag and Shock. You can see NeoFrag actually dropped his USP, so I'd imagine he will actually upgrade. Yeah, he's got a deagle gun. They've been able to kind of shift a few $100s around with some pistols being dropped over, and, well, it's given them a decent position. I mean, you've got an AK, you've got an M4, 3 smokes, a HE that could maybe do some early damage to give those deagles a better time as well. It's certainly around that forZe don't want to be kind of too lax in, I suppose, or they could certainly be caught off guard. We know it's these sort of rounds as well where Sinners do sometimes find that success. As I mentioned, kind of a little bit less pressure on. Good nades, though. The first one I don't think done any damage. Fortunately so for Shock, because the one that did land done quite a bit.
No armor, he absolutely chews on it. Fragmentation rips him down to 32. Rifles split between mid and B. Time being, looks like it's just the one to be tested, and that's removed. Oscar not quite able to find the headshot he was after. The pistols trying to scramble a recovery, but no refrag to be found. And now they start to swarm in towards this A site. The Eagles doing what they can, but Shock already desperately low on HP is taken out of the fight. Zedko, the next one to fall to Kenzie's AK. And quick as you like, this round is done. B-Stick at least gets the consolation kill over on B. There's going to be no more than that. They might be able to scramble that rifle, actually. Neofrag with Kevlar behind him will grab that AK-47. 2 AKs saved into the next. I don't mind it at all.
Yeah, pretty solid recovery, especially since we've been going on about how we need them to prioritize that investment. If you're going to be handed 2 of those AKs, 100% take them away. On the other hand, though, forZe, they've got a bit of money. Could, in theory, try and hunt this one down, and I think they may just be willing to do so, as you can see with Flit already on his way down through, or up through short, I believe that is right now. Might get an opportunity up against Neofrag. Likely, though, B-Stick gonna save his over. I don't think anyone can really make it in time, and well, as Flit doesn't move up short, he's not going to be getting there either. So yeah, both AKs carried over. They'll get everything they could ask for. They'll have the op on towards Oscar, some nades behind him, and the same on everyone else. So it's really now or never for Sinners to get going. Otherwise, this is really going to start mirroring what happened back on Nuke.
Now or never, very much the call, as they sensing perhaps that this is the time to start turning the tide. Gone for the double AWP setup once again. This time Zedco picking up the secondary duties. Still going to be sending that second AWP over towards the B site. forZe looking to dodge it in its entirety. Set up almost immediately for the full A site execute. 3 players on the ramp, 1 on Palace just to make sure there's no flank. Is going to be the full A site set piece. Neofrag, aware of the possibility, has managed to make at least a rotation in towards Connector, but it's Shock isolated under Dark once again. Neofrag trying to flash himself through bench, goes through the molly, the spray down, good for 2. kenzie gets the trade, but has he distracted enough? Is Shock now the unknown quantity under Dark inside and around the smokes? Jerry's actually managed to get down into the smoke as well and gets the better of him, keeps it level in the 3-on-3. Bomb still on the A ramp, by no means committed. They're starting to probe the B site as well. Zedco going to be put under pressure here as Zorti on the AWP, dropping all his utility, just trying to buy some time. He's been spotted out, but he still gets the kill. And as he opens up B, the bomb will make its way back around. And Sinners, this CT side again, is in complete and utter disarray. B-Stick has got to catch the mother of all timings here. kenzie is aware of the possibility, but not quite able to find the headshot. Bomb down, and 40 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, this is a massive issue. I was about to say perhaps even the op there was going to be just given a kill back to shoot me up really quick, but no, not quite. Shots eventually rattle off. That's going to give away the info to B-Stick, of course, that he has to worry about that op coming back in through the apartments. But at the moment, there's more so questioning about where Jerry is. And he's got a couple of spots he's got to keep flicking between, and the timing doesn't work in his favor. That's going to be the bomb now being brought on towards B, where Oscar will be awaiting. Will he be able to catch it, though? Does hear Zorte, I believe, already scoping up close, so he's ready, but he doesn't land. Doesn't manage to get the shot off in the follow-up attempt either. And, well, full trust pretty much had just been put in his teammate there by Jerry as he went out the window, bomb in hand, and immediately started that plant. And, well, Zorte was not going to let him down. It's 6-4. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Honestly, fantastic in terms of the actual execute, in terms of what Sinners were able to do, rather, to slow down that execute over towards A. Because, I mean, there was mollies down on bench and everything. They were making it pretty much as risky as possible for Sinners to make any sort of play. And Neofrag still got away with that double kill, but they just weren't able to hold it together. That should have been their round.
Had to be their rounds. forZe sensing they've got the advantage, perhaps pushing the issue through mid. Neofrag trying to play the top of the smoke, does very well, finds the clean headshot to open things up. But again, forZe getting so much map control for free. They're out the A ramp. They've got a man into sandwich before Sinners can react. Almeza looking to take advantage of the swing, will at least again be traded down, but kenzie is there to get that critical kill. Keeps things level in the 3-on-3. B-Stick and Shock, though, continuing to trade, and it's kenzie on his own. A 1v3 out of absolutely nowhere. It's chaos over on the A site. He doesn't have the bomb. He's got all the time in the world to work with here. He wants to clear his way into CT. Zedco's flank with just a PP Bison to work with. Should be able to spot out this bomb in a few seconds, and that will give Sinners an idea of how to set themselves. B-Stick tucked into the corner in mid-window, trying to make as little noise as possible. kenzie is going all around the houses here to try and clear these corners. He's now going to start creeping his way through towards mid. May well be able to isolate B-Stick, yet to be heard as well. Zedco tucks that PP Bison in towards the A ramp. They're dancing around each other at the moment. It's just a question of who makes that misstep first. kenzie meticulously clearing these angles. Doesn't want anything to catch him by surprise, and B-Stick decides now's the time to make his move. Starts to creep his way out of the jungle. Zedco spotted. A don't know if he saw kenzie either. That jump should have given the game away. The backstab being lined up. The double peek is there, and there's B-Stick, back of the head. MP9, 2 bullets to the skull. Sinners have their 5th round just about, and they have the double AWP saved across as well.
I've got to say, though, nice try from kenzie. Tried to fake the drop down into Sandwich, hoping it'd force that peek out immediately from the ramp player, hoping to just kind of lock him in towards Sandwich. And obviously, if he wasn't there, if he's top stairs, probably going to be getting a bullet to the face. But it was also just, I guess, a bit unfortunate that there was the quick flank coming in from jungle, so the stairs end up working against them. Either way, decent attempt on it. It is still a position where forZe obviously have the opportunity to try and just strike straight back. And Sinners cannot afford to let that happen. Literally, but both in terms of the money and in terms of their position in the game. Wow, look at this from B-Stick. Incredibly aggressive. Doesn't actually even manage to get pretty too much damage done. There's a small bit on kenzie. I thought it was going to be at least a dink. A nade follows up with some damage, but in terms of the kills, it's all going the way of forZe, punished for that aggression as they were trying to salvage back something over in the apartment.
They've managed to get bombed down in middle.
Yeah.
This could still be good for them. I don't know if they're aware, though, and as the flank starts to come in, Oscar surely not going to expect it. Can't land the quick scope. They're just tearing the numbers apart. They don't even need the bomb. As you said, the economy in tatters. Shock left with a 1v4, and he's not going to get anything out of it either. 4 players kept up for forZe, 7th round on the board. Just starting to stretch their legs and really show us what they're made of here on the T side of Mirage. Sinners, their 2nd timeout taken, and not taken a moment too soon. They are really struggling just to stabilize here. They're getting isolated rounds, little glimmers of hope on the horizon, but every time the looming cloud of forZe just comes through and blocks out the sun.
Yeah, forZe to be reckoned with. That was terrible. Sinners, though, not having a great time either. Completely understandable about this pause. I mean, you're probably slightly focused on something crazy you're going to try here in this round, considering you don't have the full buy, but most of the talk, I'd imagine, is going to be about what they're going to do coming into this next gun round. If they can get a couple of kills here, maybe even steal a weapon or 2 away, that would be nice. But it's going to have to pretty much be those remaining 2 rounds, then going the way of Sinners, and ideally the pistol round on that second half as well. Because again, reminder, very similar to what we seen happen rather to forZe on Nuke. It was the initial 4 rounds towards Sinners, and since then, not really much apart from a lone round to be put in their favor.
The Eagles out again, hoping for another miracle. 250 on Oscar to try and make sure he's got enough cash for that AWP moving forwards. forZe repetitively putting pressure over towards that B-bomb site and getting a lot of purchase off the back of it. So you see again, Jerry and Zorti just setting themselves up on this crossfire. Almeida is just wandering out short at this point, and he gets a free kill onto Zedco. Nothing the Deagle can do. B-Stick out in no man's land does very well to even get one, trying to spam and transfer, can't quite get it done. Neofrag will trade him down. They're keeping it competitive at the very least, forZe, but they need a little bit more. 3 on 3. Flit down to 29 HP. This could still get dangerous. Neofrag has managed to settle himself into the B-bomb site. kenzie, the man tasked with unlocking the defense on the backstab. Neofrag is aware of it and will find the headshot. Now this gets very awkward. Zorti has switched it up to the AK-47, aware he has got to do the bulk of the heavy lifting here. He's got the bomb on his back. He's waiting for Flit to join him, but they need a very quick frag onto this site. Shock upgraded to the AK-47, but he's lost his teammate. He's on his own anchoring this site. He has to buy time. If this flank is found out, it will not work. Shock just trying to hide behind the back pillar now. It is all on these timings. Zorti sneaking his way around. Shock caught unawares, and there's the final kill. Flit on the AWP takes out Oscar. The glimmer of hope is once again snuffed out as forZe have their 8.
So close. Good job by Neofrag initially getting the kills to delay. It's just unfortunate that flank was so far behind. And as you said, if he ran, if he got heard, then it was just going to be the op posting up and taking him out, exactly as what happened. Overall, though, again, pretty good damage. It doesn't really matter, though, because it's not going to allow them to ever really put forZe onto an eco since we're coming towards the end of the half. But maybe it's a slight confidence-inspiring round, I suppose. And, well, there you go. That's going to help out. Neofrag just spams through the top mid smoke. Slightly late on the window smoke itself gives him some vision, and, well, he's going to make do with it. An early advantage in the way of Sinners, and that's something that is definitely being lacking for them so far here on Mirage.
Big kill to open things up, and may this double hook setup finally be tested. Zedco scoped up on B. again, forZe leaning a lot of pressure over it. It's not something you normally see all that often, but Zedko's going to have his opportunity, will step up to the plate. Neofrag with another quick kill onto Kenzie. Almeza, yes, he trades for one, but on low HP will quickly be found out. Sinners start to stabilize things a little bit more on this CT side. This should be round number 6. Zorti left in the 1v4, does at least have his favorite AWP and does have the first pick. Shot goes down. Now the bomb is the issue. Isolated on short. The nades coming in. They know exactly where Zorti is. They are dropping all of their utility to make sure he doesn't get a free peek here. He might catch the timing though. Missed shot. Can't quite find it. Second bite. And now 2v1. He will be put down. Plenty of damage done. And for a split second, you wanted to believe. But Sinners at the last moment got their act together. The double peek came in. And they will have their 6th round.
Yeah, it's just worrying because you know you're on Mirage. You know at any moment these rounds just seem like they could flip back in favor of forZe, and they're always definitely giving Sinners a run for their money, rather. As you said, though, that double up finally being tested, and we'll see now whether that can keep up the early advantages. That's what worked for them in the previous round with Neofrag finding the spam towards top mid. Now they're looking for a bit of an aggressive push in through under and should actually catch Flit off guard. Indeed, wasn't quite ready for such an aggressive play to come through. We haven't really seen it from them yet, at least not since that early mid push that they decided to go for. And a decent nade there alongside this molly actually should leave Zorte trapped in, potentially to be spammed as well. It's unfortunate the B player has enough and can't just spam in on that angle. But they give away a kill to Jerry. That's really not needed.
They wanted to get the reactionary shot, just couldn't quite find it. No shocks towards this A ramp as well. The nade won't do too much damage. Again, we get into this chaotic mid-round. Everybody flanking everybody. Kenzie looks to make his way out short, but he's spotted out. I thought the scope was going to be at the worst possible moment, but Zedko does manage to recover. And now with Zorti down on 27 HP, Jerry on 49. Full apartments control given. Almeza, oh, he catches the timing. B-Stick looks away. And that's bomb on his back now in the 3-on-3. They can still head out towards that A site. Oscar does pick off Zorti in the meanwhile. Shock does very well indeed to find Jerry. And just as quickly as it looked to get away from Sinners, they have managed to find those stabilizing kills. Almeza, the last man alive, he'll give this a go. Last round of the half, he finds himself in the 1v3. 30 seconds on the clock. Sinners should be able to keep this to just a 1-round lead headed into the half.
Which isn't a terrible recovery. You just got to wonder how it could have went if they had have kept up that initial kind of streak of rounds for even a tiny bit longer. Perhaps could have had themselves this advantage, an advantage rather, at the half-time. And at the moment, to be honest, I can't count Almazera completely. Never mind, actually I didn't realize there was only 4 seconds left. I thought you had a couple more to work with. He just about would have actually had the bomb plant right there, but unfortunately not able to get it done. Either way, though, Sinners 7 rounds on that CT side, considering what we expected them to be up against here on Mirage coming into it. It is not a bad result, but they're going to need to get that pistol round again going into the second half. And guys, before we actually do get to see that, we're going to have to send it over to an ad break, so stay with us.
The shadows, I've come to make a name. Ready for battle, cause I got a thing to claim. Think that I'll crumble, I'll show you a mistake. Where you see me coming, better run for cover, cause I'm not slowing down, I'm never going under. I survived the pain, I know it made me stronger. So meet the monster.
All right, everyone, we are ready with the second half here of Mirage between Sinners and forZe. And, well, Sinners, it wasn't looking too great. We're not going to lie. There was a streak of rounds there where forZe took control, but a bit of a recovery towards the end, a couple more rounds on the board. And the fact that we noted that forZe are very slightly better on that T side here on Mirage as well, it gives us maybe a bit of hope that Sinners still have a chance here.
Definitely still in with a shout. They've done a fantastic job of keeping themselves competitive in that first half, dragging themselves back in when it really looked, in all honesty, like they were down and out. Can they get done with it is the question. They've got the early mid control to work with. They're trying to boost into the window, but it's 2 quick kills, make it 3. It's a demolition. CT side starts as forZe mean it to go on. They are going to get the bomb plant down. There's an abandoned site here for Sinners. 2v5 after plant to contend with, though. They need some very quick kills to get themselves even halfway into this round. 3 players swarming short. Shock, already 2 missed shots on the P250. Finally scrambles 1, but it's not enough. It's 1 consolation kill. The bomb will be defused. It will be a 9th round for forZe. And, well, what a stamp to put on your first CT round of Mirage.
Jesus, these players are just not playing with the pistols, are they, Wolfie? If you do not get an instant headshot of your own, you're going to lose yours in a millisecond. That's what happened in every single one of these pistol rounds. Wolfie, that's the closest pistol round we've had so far. Let that sink in.
That's ridiculous.
It is pretty ridiculous considering it was so incredibly one-sided. But the fact that they got a kill in the bomb plant, it puts it up there as pretty dominantly the most competitive pistol round of the series. So that's interesting for sure. But forZe, either way, able to get off to a fantastic start here on their CT side. Not giving too much away. The bomb plant, of course, going down means we are just going to see an eco from Sinners. And I'm completely behind that. You're only a couple of rounds behind at the moment. Give the 10th away to forZe and hope to come alive early on with that, with those rifles, rather.
Hoping maybe to get a little bit more out of these pistols as well. 2 Deegs, a P250. Certainly plenty capable of doing some damage. As you noted, forZe very heavily invested into this one, not wanting to take any risks at all. Full rifles. Limited a little in the utility as a result. Shock, though, just peeks a little too keenly in. Almeza able to take his head off. Oscar at least will be able to recover this deagle and may well have his chance here. Almeza's thinking about peeking, but he'll back out before he gets the shot off. Spread pretty much across the entirety of the map at the moment. Sinners just starting to group things up over towards that A site now with 55 seconds left on the clock. Leave NeoFrag lurking in mid to try and catch the rotations and hope that a couple of quick deagle headshots will lead to some kind of a plant over on this A site. NeoFrag, here's the drop in mid. A little more info to work with. Kenzie gives him the free backstab, but there's a second man there. It's unexpected, and 2 quick org kills should seal this round off. Flit playing with fire a little bit as he continues to re-peek down that ramp. The double peek from Zedko will get them another headshot, but it's quickly put to bed. And Oscar, well, he's got a 1v3. He's got so many angles to worry about. Zorti rips his head clean off. Decent damage. That's all I'll say.
Yeah, could definitely be worse for what they put into it. There was only a few pistols being invested into, as we mentioned. They had got that bomb plant, so didn't bother really going too heavy on investment. Now they've got the up on Oscar. They have the rifles across the board with just those 2 kills that managed to come in. They've actually forced enough reinvestment that you'd instantly put 3 players onto a double eco by winning this round, which gives Sinners a chance to go up towards 9, win that next gun round. Suddenly you're even in the lead. So you can see the way back into this game right now for Sinners. But that's what it needs to be. It needs to be right now. Otherwise, they're not going to have many more opportunities.
Hot flash out for Flit, looking to take the mid control. Doesn't spot anyone out just yet. Knows, however, that mid is likely clear off the back of it, so hangs around a little while longer. Top Con looks to time some utility of his own. Be forced to concede. It's a much more cagey affair in these early rounds on the second half of Mirage. Teams dancing around the utility, trying to work out the way to find that all-critical man advantage. Sinners playing very steadily, not wanting to overextend anywhere. Pretty default across the map still, with only 1 minute and 5 left on the clock. And now they start to try and take that mid control. Smokes into the window and out the ramp. B-Stick tries to fake the play into A to keep the rotations honest, as instead they creep up mid, creep up short, looking for the B split here. Oscar will scope up in Con. Kenzie's going to be the first issue, close on the angle short. He's got 2 players about to head right into his crosshairs, and can he get anything at all? He won't. And now that sight opens up. Flit, though, from the window gets 2 and denies the bomb. NeoFrag has to get it back. Does well to find the headshot, but now he's isolated. And if they can just stay alive on B, it would be viable. But B-Stick's got the headshot. Zorti can deny the bomb no longer. And a 1v3 over on that B-bomb site feels a little steep even for forZe.
Yeah, well, I mean, Zort is representing forZe as a whole right now on his own, so I don't think he's going to be feeling too confident about actually moving over towards that B-bomb site. Although, of course, with the bomb only now being planted, it does give him, I guess, a little bit of an itch, thinking, I've got time, perhaps. Nah, there's an AK, I'll take that and back away. That's exactly how that whole scenario just went down for him, but in Russian. I don't speak Russian, apologies, can't do it for you. But it is going to be a round that goes the way of Sinners, and in pretty dominant fashion, thanks to Neofrag. Just fantastic trades as they were moving up through short right there. And we mentioned off the back of winning this round that it was going to leave 3 players on a double eco. That's why Zorte was pretty set on getting himself this AK saved, because it's going to be the only rifle they have unless Jerry decides to pull out a FAMAS. And, well, it doesn't really count. It's an okay weapon, but you need those real rifles in these positions, and they're definitely not going to be available. Likely to buy, though. I'd imagine. I mean, even with they do have a lead of 2 rounds, so I wouldn't blame them if they decide not to buy, but they are very likely to buy just because you've got those 2 players around 14 and 1500, and then you've got Fullet as well, who really doesn't have too much. And when you have a scout, rather, some deagles and an AK, those weapons can combine to do some serious damage, especially if you take some initiative in the early moments.
Yeah, with a 1900 loss bonus, the next round wasn't going to be a buy regardless, so you may as well roll the dice on this one. Boosted up the AWP. Oscar looking for the early pick, not giving it though. The transfer across stairs just a little too swift, and Almeza now well set on that deagle as well. As you said, a lethal concoction of weapons if used correctly. Sinner's aware of that, playing again a relatively passive early round. They have taken mid control quicker than previous, but faking the utility out onto the A bomb site, really not sending anyone with it, and that's going to be the problem here. With nobody coming out the A ramp, they know forZe that is the fake, and Zorti can just set himself for the kill here. Clean headshot onto Zedko to open things up, and he's got the second on the spray down as well. The AK doesn't even need the deagles. He's doing it by himself, and there's Kenzie chiming in with the scout. 3 quick kills, make it a 4th as Zorti triples up, and it's Oscar. A 1v5 to contend with. Zorti on the AK gets 4. The youngster brings the individual brilliance. And forZe, well, right when they were looking awkward economically, they get their 11th and they reset Sinners.
Well, damn. All right. Zorte pops off on the saved AK. The scout does a little bit with a nice shot from Kenzie, but it really was Zorte just locking down that B-bomb site and propelling himself pretty quickly up into the leading role, I suppose, right now in terms of the frags for forZe. And it's really just kind of flipped the whole situation over. Now it's actually Sinners who do not have the money for an investment. They've got a few deagles at least, or a couple actually, just on towards Shocks and Neofrag. Other than that though, Glocks, and then even coming into this next round, you're going to have Beastick and Neofrag a little bit weak in terms of nades behind their buy. So it's not looking too fantastic, I've got to say. This next gun round is pretty much do or die for Sinners if they want to get this map going in their favor once again.
Running out of time and running out of opportunities. This time, just 2 deagles brought to the party. Hoping that someone over-aggresses, outstays their welcome. Give Sinners that little something they need to get into this one. No such luck so far. Oscar, with bomb on his back, has been in the B apartments this whole time. You have to imagine that Sinners are going to look to end up there. Try and get something going, but the aggression from Flit is perfectly timed right as they evacuate these angles. Nice dink from Zedko, but just not quite enough on the Glock. A missed shot from Neofrag on the deagle. The bomb spotted off the back of it, and they're just thinning the herd now. Kenzie lightning quick for 2. And Neofrag and Oscar, well, there's next to nothing they can do at this point. 35 seconds left on the clock. They'll do well to die, maybe take a rifle with them to the grave. Neofrag does tag up 1 and will find the kill before he goes down. Quickly traded, however, and Oscar is just looking for the cheesiest of timings here. He hasn't even got a gun out. He's got bomb in his hands. He's just hoping to get towards the site. Now he does switch to the Glock, and he finds the dink as well. Just not quite enough. If he has the deagle, maybe he gets that bomb down. Maybe he gets that extra $800, but just not to be.
Oh, that is unfortunate. Everyone else was miles away as well. So as you said, if he got that kill on towards the bomb site, he certainly would have had the bomb down on a rifle suddenly to work with to potentially do a bit more damage. Doesn't work in his favor though. Either way, guns come out, they've got another opportunity here at the full buy, and they need to make it work. If it doesn't, then you're already going to have forZe heading up towards 14. And considering how good this map is for them, I don't think that's a situation that Sinners will be able to come back from. kenzie, though, he's been fantastic in these past couple of rounds. Not really getting much of a chance to do anything here as the smoke went down. Just spammed away, suppressing fire for his teammates then to swing in from both connector and short. And I was going to say, with the advantage they have now, they don't really need to keep on fighting mid, but they decide to. And that's given the opportunity back to NeoFrag. And well, now to Shock most likely didn't actually spot the head. That was way too close, but it does still go in his favor.
An advantage now there for the T side of Sinners. Can they find the conversion off the back of it? That's the critical element. Jerry has gone aggressive on the A ramp. He's got the information that that's clear. That's giving Zorti a little bit more to plug into this round. Very split at the moment, Sinners. NeoFrag over towards connector. Oscar with bomb top mid, and Shock just starting to probe things over towards B. If Zorti can pick off the isolated frag early, the AWPer could still have a lot to say about this round. Flashed off his first peak. Will be forced to back off into the depths of the site, and the bomb is actually still toying with where to go. With just 45 seconds left, they'll start to group up. They want to head over towards this A site, but that ramp control from Jerry is going to be everything. They've got 2 flashes left to try and flush him out. If he can catch them in transition, if he can catch them as they cross onto this A site, he could secure the round single-handedly. 28 seconds left. They start to group up. All 3 players now for the Sinners start to creep their way out of connector, and Jerry's timing is going to be absolutely everything. The bomb looking to cross. Oscar stays to hold for the short play. Jerry yet to peek. Now he starts to swing, and he catches the man out in no man's land. Shot's got the bomb out. He knows where Jerry is, and he will just about deal with him. 8 seconds. The bomb looks to be planted. If Zorti can deny, it's done, but it's not planted anywhere near him. He'll look for the wall bang. It won't quite connect, and 1v2. The AWPer has got it all to do. He spots out the first man behind the default boxes, but Oscar manages to squirrel away to CT. He'll reset top a ticket, and he'll get the pick as well. The critical round is Sinners. It's a long way home still, but they start it with a foot in the right direction.
I got scared for a moment. I thought he was slightly wider on that bomb plant, and seeing the player moving in through short had me worried. Considering, again, forZe seem to be able to turn some of these situations around when they really shouldn't have a chance to, but no, not this time. Sinners get themselves a 9th round, and, well, let's see if they can finally do it this time. Can they manage to chain the couple of rounds together to put a stop to forZe's momentum? They've definitely put a stop to the economy, not into this round, but everything has been invested to pretty much get the bare minimum, you've got to say. Nades are not quite perfect. It's mostly just the weaponry that they've got to work with. And again, early mid control is going to be going in favor of Sinners. Not quite the frags, though. You do see an initial kill, at least for Zorte, coming through. Decides, though, to peek back through. I guess not expecting a gap in the smoke. And, well, it's not needed for Beastic as he just spams straight through. Apologies, that was actually flipped. Beastic got one while blind, so he was...
oh, no.
He was hindered by a different utility. I was about to say that timing could work out for Almazar. Just about moves out of position as NeoFrag gets in towards the CT spawn. And there's a lot of time, so they don't really need to rush this.
Giving away a couple of refrags and 2-on-2. This could yet get dangerous. Jerry's found the bomb. Knocks Shock's head clean off and leaves NeoFrag with the 1v2 clutch. He is one of these rising stars off the Sinners roster, but if he gets caught in transition, if he gets caught by the short play, it'll all be over before it's even begun. He spots out surely the head of Almeza as he recovers the bomb, tries to make the jump in towards the window. This is all on his timings now. He spots out Almeza as he actually misses the short jump. Gives him a little more info to work with 35 seconds left on the clock, but Almeza knows he just disengages entirely. NeoFrag needs a 1v1 here. He needs somebody to peek into him to give him a little bit of room, a little something to work with. Once again, Jerry takes refuge deep down the A ramp, and NeoFrag not expecting it at all. His footsteps will be heard, but he will get this bomb down safe from it. He's bought himself the extra 800. The utility should give the A ramp player away, but he has to isolate this second fight now. He's trying to find Almeza. The spray down just not quite good enough. 8 HP remaining as the kill comes in for forZe. They'll have their 13th round. The reset will be vicious for Sinners, and Ancient looms on the horizon.
Ouch. That's a round that Sinners probably should have had. As I said, there was a lot of time, so I'm kind of surprised that the bomb was, I guess, being rushed over towards Connector. They could have held off for a moment. They knew there was one player on towards B, I believe. And then the man towards A, obviously, that ended up catching and dropping that bomb around Connector was elsewhere. Kind of surprised they kind of just rushed it, as I said. Could have even wrapped NeoFrag around the CT spawn beforehand just to make sure that there was no one watching over towards Connector from the open or whatever. 13-9. Again, just a sole round being found from Sinners. Early streak around goes their way. Exactly what we've seen from forZe on Nuke, and then after that they do get a little bit, but it's never enough. They just keep getting to kind of the brink of what they need to do in order to actually break their opponent and falling short. So it's a little bit heartbreaking right now, and they likely will have to concede the 14th with only a couple of the players really being able to buy. You could have had B-Stick just about buy up his AK and armor as well, but they wouldn't have had nades. They would have had 2 players left on Galils or whatever, so they do decide to just take the 1 eco here and then hope to pull it back pretty much flawlessly then.
Had the opportunity to buy themselves a little bit of breathing room, fluff their lines, and as a result, they find themselves here. UMP, Techs, Deegs, and P250s. It's the bargain bucket buy from the T side. Zedco, though, manages to isolate Zorti early, and if they go quickly, there's only 1 man left on this site. Almeza full blind does well to find 1. He's got plenty more headed his way, and how much more can he get done? How much more time can he buy? The Tech 9 of Shot continues to do work. kenzie spotted making his way out. Oscar on the AWP now finds the wallbang, and they're looking to do this, Sinners. Oscar continues to frag on the recovered AWP, and Flit out of nowhere is 1v4. The Tech 9's up close and personal, doing absolutely everything here. Oscar getting a bit overzealous for my liking in these peaks, but it won't even matter. The side swipe from Neofrag gets double digits for Sinners. The half buy does it for them. What a way to recover, and what a way to start that running it back.
Damn, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, would have preferred if they'd done it in the round before, but that'll do. That will certainly do. Good few kills by Oscar, but just a fantastic entry by Zedco. That first opening obviously is always the hardest part to get past when you're on those weaker buys trying to rush in towards B. He's the warning signal. He's the one that's normally going to drop down the initial molly or the nade or whatever to slow the actual push. And once he's dropped, you have the other player rotating in either back from short or around the bomb site, just kind of panicking. So it does work out indeed, and well, let's see what forZe can return with a force buy of their own. It's not quite to the same extent though. There's no up in play. They've got just deagles across the board, and then they've only got a couple of smokes alongside a single flash to actually, I guess, try and make some plays happen. Almazar decides that he doesn't really need any utility. He's just going to push straight through the apartments, but I love this double setup. Crouched in behind each other. He actually gets away with it. How does he get the second kill as well? I do not know. Thankfully, Oscar's there to save the day and ensure at least the bomb isn't lost, but they've still got a disadvantage in terms of manpower, and it's only getting worse as Flip pops out from short and says hello to Neofrag. Oh, and I think Jerry should have the drop on Shock right now as well. Just nothing is going the way of Sinners. They can't make anything work in their favor.
Oscar's just getting rid of guns, AWP in hand, 1v4. kenzie very proactively pushing up as well, knows where to look for this AWP. He swings the angle, will get his head ripped off in response, and Oscar may well be able to get this bomb down. We're looking for a little bit of vintage here from the man on the AWP. 1v3. Position known. He's managed to get out onto the B site. He's managed to get towards the back bench as well. Drops a smoke to give himself a little bit more breathing room. Molly goes through the kitchen window. He knows he has to isolate a fight here, and spots the boosted player as well. That shoulder peek just gives him away. He's going to go for this bomb plant now. The utility not going to deny it. The extra money is there, but Jerry through the smoke won't give him an inch to work with. The spam down connects. It's the 14th for forZe. The back-to-back force buys for each team. And the reset again, looking over at the economy of Sinners, is not going to be great. They will be able to buy. Zedco will struggle, but it's last chance saloon now for the T side.
That is rough. Oh god, things are not going well for Sinners at the moment. Not at all. Oscar's probably a little bit upset about how that went down as well, because he presumes, okay, my two teammates over in Apps, they've got a good setup there, kind of elevating their angle, ensuring that if a peak comes in, they should at the very least have a trade, most likely just an instant kill. No, I don't know how the hell Almazar was able to make that work, but that was absolutely insane just to be able to get those 2 kills right there. Not a position he should have been getting away with. Even one, I think, would have been probably a little bit more than expected. And look at this from Jerry. They don't really seem to be stopping the aggression just because they've got the guns in their hands. Unfortunately, Shock is going to force them to go ahead and stop it. A few bullets to the legs will do that.
An advantage given up. Something potentially for Sinners to work with. As we mentioned, it's all or nothing. It's now or never. Mazer aggressive up short, will be caught off guard by Neofrag's position in towards Delpan. So the second frag of the round goes the way of Sinners, but it's kenzie aggressive on ramp, trying to turn the tide. Oscar does well on the quick scope. Keeps it competitive as the trades go down in mid, and 1v3 Flit Well, he's really got nothing more to say about it. The investment was near total from forZe, and keeping his hands on the AK doesn't seem like quite such a bad idea anymore. Bomb goes down. He's well pinned in over towards short. He's got to deal with NeoFrag bottom of con. Then he's got to potentially deal with Oscar scoping in if he wants anything to do with this round. Instead, he'll back off towards B, but he won't be given this for free. The hunt has already begun.
Yeah, and I think it may just work out. The only thing is there's only a single player here at the moment, so if he had have actually overcome NeoFrag, then he probably would have been allowed to hang on to that rifle. Unfortunately, not going to happen, so everything taken away from forZe. And that's what you need to do if you're Sinners. It still doesn't seem to be hindering them. We've seen forZe just pull off an insane round with only Deagles a couple of rounds back, sure. And this time they've got a pretty similar investment, but with an M4 alongside it in the hands of Flit. So again, I am by no means sure of Sinners winning this round, even though you probably should be in most cases. It's just that forZe are, as we can see, always a threat on this map. It's just one that they feel so comfortable on. And, well, I guess an up bullet to the skull is definitely going to make things a little bit, make you a little bit more restless, I suppose, is the way to put it there for Zorte. And that's a big pick. No one's really standing out, but Zorte has had a lot of impact in those early moments.
Gives them a little bit more breathing room as well, knowing they have the man advantage. So many times we've seen forZe start to overwhelm Sinners with a couple of early picks on these half buys. Now, at the very least, they know they have the man advantage to start things off, and Flit may well give them the second here, trying to push into the con. Does well to even get the dink. The reaction's not quite right. Swings from left to right, but at least gets a bullet into the skull of NeoFrag. Keeps him low enough that one shot from any of the remaining guns on that CT side will finish the job. 3v5 though, with all three players over on A. If they can't deny the bomb starting its transfer, this round will be done. And you can see B-Stick very cautious, dropping all the utility. Will make absolutely sure that this B site is open. It will be a 12th round for Sinners. There's nothing more forZe can have to say about it. They'll look to save what they've got into the next, try and make this next force buy work instead. The gap will start to close. This is an incredibly competent map for forZe, but Sinners are no slouches either, and they're starting to show that now. Every time it looks like they're out for the count, they've got a little trick up their sleeves to keep them in it.
Yeah, it does seem to be the case at the moment. We said we needed a team effort as well to come true, and we're certainly getting it. NeoFrag is on 26 kills right now for the boys. He is showing up big time. Oscar hasn't had a bad performance either. He's not standing out. If you could have him up there alongside NeoFrag on 26, you'd probably have Sinners already over the finish line. But to be fair to Oscar, he's been given a pretty strong tournament overall. Definitely the two most noteworthy players being NeoFrag and Oscar. Again, though, I'm always impressed by B-Stick. Especially in important games, he seems to be able to show up. In-game leader, still having solid impact. He's got a decent amount of kills right there. Obviously, when you look at the ADR, you can see a pretty big difference between NeoFrag and the rest. But overall, B-Stick has definitely been contributing a for sure, I suppose. And it's important because overall his stats have not been too great this event. Has
his moments, but can struggle. As you said, just building the confidence. Starting to feel your way into these events is the way to do it. Heavy mid setup this time from forZe. All their eggs in one basket and hoping they come home to roost. Mid play, only a couple of players actually taking mid. NeoFrag and Shock left with that responsibility. Does mean there's a heavy lean towards the A site, which is largely unguarded. Jerry gonna have to do all that he can to buy time. Flit on only a USP tucked into jungle is gonna be little to no use. They've got them well spread. They're keeping the CTs isolated at the moment, and NeoFrag opens things up again, continues his streak. 3 away from the 30 bomb now. The rest of the team start to sneak their way out A, and they seem perfectly aware of where Jerry is likely lurking. They're holding for it. NeoFrag continues to add to his tally. The spray down is good for 3, and Sinners will draw within 1. The last frag does go the way of Flit. He manages to grab at least 1, may even salvage the AK now as Zedko on half HP continues to fight. But it will be 13 for Sinners. The gap at just 1 round, and as much as it was last roll of the dice for Sinners 3 or 4 rounds ago, it's starting to get that way for forZe as well. If this one goes wrong, their economy is broken, and they'll only have 1 more buy before it is the 2-0.
Yeah, this is getting a lot closer than I thought it was going to be. It kind of seemed like Sinners were out, but no, maybe they have an initial burst of rounds towards the beginning, a little bit in the middle, and then kind of a second wind here towards the end. And, well, this could be enough to carry them over that finish line. We have to see what's going to come now from this pause for forZe. I do believe forZe are pretty firm within the top 3 either way in the group. Obviously, though, this win would solidify them in that 2nd seed, so it's definitely not one that they'd be happily letting slip away, because it's only going to make things a bit more difficult then going into that following round.
Not going to buy here. I thought they might go for it.
I mean, they would have just about been able to scrape one together, but then if that doesn't work, suddenly Sinners are on 15, and yeah, you're in a bit of an awkward position at that point. So I can understand not bothering with it.
Need a lot out of this one, though, and already Almeza, the first scout, gone. 3 Deegs and a scout remain. The B-bomb site wide open. Nobody home for the CT side. They're trying to play the flank, but the Molotov will keep Flit away from that. More mollies to lock the CT side out, and at this point, do you just call the save already? It's a big call to make, but there's armor on these 4 remaining players, and that might be something you need to keep moving forward. Zorte does well to find a clean headshot onto Neofrag. That's an AK now as well. It could be recovered towards top of mid. Shock, aware of that, is going to start punishing them as they look for it, but that's going to lead to his head coming clean off as well. And now, this is a much better situation for forZe. They saved themselves 2 AKs, they saved themselves 3 sets of armor, and this next buy looks a lot better indeed.
Yeah, they getting that other AK?
Come on,
I
sure.
don't think they've,
Yeah,
I don't think they've managed to.
in.
Yeah, he's moving around. Yeah, and everyone else is leaving into the apartment. So indeed, you're correct. He will be able to find it for himself. That's a bit of a risky one. I'm kind of surprised Sinners even bothered to send the player back towards short right there after losing the 1. Maybe you're thinking, yeah, let's not let them save that 1 AK. But now, as you said, there's a couple of extra rifles in play for forZe. It's going to boost that buy up quite a lot. And well, this is the last true chance pretty much for forZe, and it's been kind of, I guess, optimized a little bit with assistance from Sinners. Overall, though, it is still a slightly better investment for the T side. They've got everything they could ask for. There's no weaknesses at all in that buy. Over on the forZe side, a few nades missing. Kits-wise, they've got 2 at least, I believe, split across the map as well. So they've got everything they need to work with. Let's see what the play is actually for Sinners. Right now, most of the players actually moving over towards the apartments early on. It seems like Zed goes hoping to probe. If you could find the early kill, then they likely are to follow up behind it. But I don't know how quick they want to move if there's nothing really being shown. It looks like actually fast indeed.
Flashes everywhere, full utility. They're just going for it. It's been where they've had all their success, but this time it's not working out at all. 2 quick frags. Virtually no damage found. The bomb in no man's land. Flip makes it a triple. Neofrag and Oscar remaining make it just Neofrag. They have been demolished on this entry. They went for the big roll of the dice, the big play. B bomb site has been by far their most successful endeavor, but it doesn't land. Neofrag left in the impossible situation. They have money to buy into the next one, so by no means does he have to save. He can try and do some damage here. You look across at the economy on the right-hand side of the screen. Jerry with no money. Zorti and Almeza are incredibly low. He takes a few rifles away. It does get interesting. And overtime starts to beckon. It's his first kill off, but that will be all he wrote. 15-14 forZe with 1 opportunity to shut the door and require Ancient to separate these 2 teams. If it goes wrong, well, we'll need overtime here on Mirage.
I mean, the overtime's very possible, and as you were saying, yeah, B is definitely where most of the success has been found for Sinners, but most of the time, it seems like it's been with the assistance of getting the early mid control and then being able to probe around short as well, because they've been really successful in, at the very least, trading the player who's been fighting short pretty much every round, and then have normally had that split coming in. We've seen in that case, though, everyone is just way too comfortable. Look towards Apps, you have 3 players fully focused on it, and there was just absolutely no hope of Sinners getting themselves out of apartments right there. And well, we'll see what the call is now to switch it up, I suppose, after this pause that they called through. Again, nothing lacking in terms of the buy, but now it's overtime that they need to fight for if they want to still have the chance of ending this series 2-0 and avoiding Ancient, as we were saying, which is a pretty good map for forZe. They've been tested on it a lot more, we'll put it that way, because it seems like Sinners can play it as well.
Both teams certainly aware of its existence now. It's been in the map pool for a few months. They know how to use it. They won't want it to go there, Sinners. They want to put this to bed. 1 round away from OT, and of course, anything can happen when you get to that stage of the game. Setting up for a Palace pop here. 3 players there. Hot flash out of mid, and Zedko just rips the head off of Zorti. Flit does very well to trade at least for one. The rest of the team, though, are going to pop out of Palace, and Jerry, I'm not sure he's going to expect this. Looking the wrong way, he'll be gunned down. The man advantage is back. Flit will continue to frag in mid, and that keeps it competitive. 3-on-3 as the bomb goes down. They're well placed for the afterplant, however, and Flit shows just a little too much of his head. Shock rips it off. Will be traded again as Almeza looks to push the issue in CT. 2v2. Bomb planted well for Oscar, but he's got to deal with this player over towards the stairs. The firebox molly clears out no one. Smoke looks to isolate the fight as Oscar is indeed spotted, and Neofrag has a lot to do here. Oscar on the crack angle hits his shot, and Almeza is left 1v2. He can't isolate the fights. It will be overtime to separate these two rosters. 15 all. Mirage ends in regulation, and we'll have to see if Sinners can make it 2-0 after the break. Overtime will be needed to separate these two rosters. Sinners playing for pride, forZe playing for seeding. 19 will be the magic number. Full buys across the board with a 16 KOT. This is just about to get spicy, Dean.
Guess spicy? What? My mouth's burning, man. It's been a great performance so far. I mean, Sinners have just kind of caught me off guard. I mean, it's been heavily off the back of Neofrag, who's just gone insane. But now you're in the OT, you don't have to worry about the economy anymore. If he can keep that up, if he can get a little bit of assistance, then the chance is still there that they could steal this one away. And well, it looks like not too surprisingly, Sinners do still want to kind of favor over towards that B side of the map. Not completely, though. They are, as I was saying, going to work in towards middle again in this round, because it was those B splits that was finding the most of their success rather than just the direct hits through the apartments.
Got their timing available as well. Jerry peeking from top of connector will show his head. Hot Flash comes in. They're trying to play a little bit of a retake here, the CT side, trying to keep Sinners honest. Zedco gets a good lick of damage onto Flit, though. Jumping back and forth just shows a little bit too much to the T-side player. 19, of course, the magic number, as you see top of your screens. Where do they look to take this on the T-side? Backing out almost entirely, completely disengaging. They have favored that B site historically. Now they're going to look for the full execute onto A. They've saved 3 full sets of utility. B-Stick has a molly and a flash. They've got all the nades to lock out this A site, and with 40 seconds left on the clock, they'll start to line them up. Jerry tucks himself into the Underdark. He's going to have a huge job to do here. He has to stall, buy some room for Zorti. Those nades will start to fly over the top. 25 seconds left. The smokes start to fly. They start to bloom. Zorti peeking down the ramp, catches the timing for one. Can't go through the bench molly. That stops him from moving, but Jerry has tucked himself into the firebox, and he's yet to be cleared. If he denies the bomb, this is all over. He's got the AWP out in no man's land. He hears the bomb going down. He's going for the knife. He doesn't land it. Dives through the smoke. It's complete chaos, and it's a 2-on-3. Somehow Shock gets the kill. The AWP well trained, though, and now it is all Shock. The 1v3, they know exactly where to look for him as well. The jump peaks confirmed the suspicions. Flit will be the first to swing, and Flit will remove him. forZe make the retake stick. They get the first blow.
Yeah, tried to give A go. Hadn't really bothered with it too much, I think, apart from maybe some early rounds during that regulation on their T side. So trying it, didn't quite work out for them, unfortunately. Those ops just kind of picking them off in the background, and well, it's going to get rough now. Not only are Sinners no longer having to worry about the economy, neither are forZe. They're just in a very comfortable position where they know this is a map they've played tons of times. They know they're the more experienced team, and that they likely have maybe a little bit more to still switch things up, while Sinners perhaps might be getting a little bit stale in terms of the tactics at this point, just because they aren't as comfortable here, not as well drilled on Mirage. A great entry, though, will go ahead and maybe make those tactics a little bit less necessary.
Huge opening pick on the short player. It opens up that B bomb site as well. Scrambled rotations coming in from the CT side, leaving the A site actually wide open to make sure they've got the defense of B. Jerry tucks himself into the corner, and I don't think this will be expected. Zedco is holding for a mid-window peek. Sinners just looking to slow things down off that opening control. Everybody take a breather. We've got a game on our hands here on map 2. Infrag started to make his way up top con, and the rotations from forZe are actually starting to cheat their way back over towards that A site. The molly will force Almeza to reconsider. With the bomb on the back of Oscar, Sinners backing out of the B Hall's control. You have to imagine this is headed over towards A, and Jerry just goes a little too soon, a split second too early. Zedco with the critical kill, and now 5-on-3. Either site feels viable.
Yeah, definitely. They are actually going to head over towards A, so kind of the better of the two positions, you've got to say, for forZe, having at least 2 here to try and defend. And, well, kenzie, given an early opportunity, not quite able to capitalize on it. Instead, wants to push in towards the ramp with already a kill to his name. He locks it down now with the help of Zorte, and it's just falling apart. Sinners suddenly left with only Zedco standing. He has to clutch the situation out, and he has at least brought it into the one-on-one. Bomb goes down. Off bullets fly through the box right now, and that does scare you a small bit, but it's a flash over and a swing right alongside it. Confident in the instant kill, which is what he achieves. The up thrown over to his teammate now as well, and that was just incredibly well played by Zedco. But you've got to say, that got way too close for my liking. It doesn't really seem to matter who has an advantage when a push comes in. It always comes down to just a few players left standing. They want to keep us on the edge of our seats.
The confidence from Zedco to swing before the flash, knows he'll catch the AWP off guard by doing it, and takes full advantage. We level things once more. Neither team is going to give Mirage up easily. Both are fighting for it. Zorti looking to be the man to make a difference here, but they're fast up short, and Neofrag has taken full advantage for an early opening. kenzie caught completely unaware from the whole W. With the man advantage again, Sinners will just look to disengage. 4 players set up on the ramp, and oh my goodness, Zorti is lucky to be alive. Shows just a little too much leg to Neofrag. Jerry will be able to trade off the back of the flash, though, and with the full A setup already committed to, they're well positioned now, forZe, to take this one as it comes through. Zorti caught out by the flashbang, what we found. Almeza next on the chopping block, but the response is there once again. They continue to trade this back and forth, and they've got so much presence here on A. Flit finds the kill on the Palace player, and still Sinners are trying to push the issue out on this A site. Finally, they realize everyone is here, and they'll start to back out. Oscar has got to sell this for as long as possible. One more AWP shot rings out, and that's all he'll get. Bomb hightails it to B, and this is all on the timings now.
Yeah, and Flip might actually be able to catch it on Oscar. The bomb likely at least to go down, maybe not. There actually is a push also coming in towards that B bomb site, and yeah, as Oscar gets taken down, they know that Zedko's obviously alone with that bomb. Amazar not able to stop it though, so at this point now you've got to realize he is in quite a bit of danger. I was going to say if he falls, suddenly a very winnable 1-on-2 would be available, but no, he wasted enough time keeping that player out in the open there, exposed the short so that his teammate could rotate in and finish it up. And there you go, forZe get themselves the lead at the half-time. I mean, that wasn't played too well, I've got to say, by forZe. They get the early advantage with NeoFrag getting the kill going up short. He gets traded rather than just kind of slowing it down for a moment. Then you have the second entry, I think it was Shock in towards jungle. He decides to keep pushing forward as well. Again, gets traded. It just feels like they're missing, they're just always missing the follow-ups. They're playing a little bit individually at points.
Backing themselves, not necessarily a bad thing, but it's left them in some very awkward spots. First round of the T side. It's been a long time since we've seen forZe here, and they are looking to up the pace already fast into the apartments control, setting themselves up for the B hit. 4 players committed to it. The Molotov will start to split them off, but they're going to go through it regardless. Oscar, what have you got for us, mate? AWP trained on the apps player, gets the flick onto the first. B-Stick does well to find a second kill, and that isolates these men on B. 3 remaining T-side offensive players for forZe. Kenzie does get the opening kill, however, and NeoFrag has to trade. It does well too. Zedko comes in on the secondary AWP to get another. It's Chaos once more, but it's Chaos that deeply favors that CT side. Zorti left, finds his first. Still a 1v3 to contend with as he actually manages to leg Zedko up. Oscar, the next man to give him a pick, and Zorti is looking for it. He knows he's got damage onto Zedko. He drops the molly, tries to give himself some breathing room. The short player gives his spot away with the shots. The molly to try and flush this AWP out. Zorti is looking electric right now, flicking around as he desperately tries to isolate this next 1v1. He knows he's being pushed down. Zedko will be his next issue. The timing is absolutely everything, and he can't quite catch it. 17 all, despite the heroics of Zorti.
The read, though, on the player wrapping around towards Kitchen. He had that on point, just as you said. Didn't quite manage to react to the player up close quite in time. Zedko waited a long time before actually swinging out there just because he was so low on health. Nice attempt, though. He's just not a man you can take lightly, Zorte. He kind of just pops off every now and again in a round, and if he can find that a little bit more consistently, then forZe will become a team to really be afraid of. Already are, of course. Boost up above this molly. No opportunities, I don't believe, going to be given. Instead, they're actually doubling up around Palace. So this is a little bit of a swap in terms of how they're playing that A bomb site with 3 players actually around this area. And it might be the right call. Again, there hasn't been a lot of hits here coming through from the T sides, but it does seem like this is the call this time being made for forZe. A little bit of Nias early on around mid and B, and then everyone else falls back over towards ramp, just leaving Flit the lurk up connector.
There's plenty of presence here for Sinners. Minute 20 left on the clock. A 3-man stack over towards this A site. Bomb has actually bailed out. Look to go throw some utility and support of Flit in mid, but it will be rejoining. It will still be this A site. We'll be down to these 3 players to hold on to it. NeoFrag with shocking support, Dark and Palace. Oscar playing the ramp as the utility starts to fly over the top. NeoFrag wants to be proactive with it. Shock's taken the Palace control. NeoFrag goes down, but it's well taken. They've got so much control to work with now, the CT side. Oscar opts wisely to back out of the fight as Zedko spamming through the smoke very nearly is found. 4-on-4, they've got good damage onto 2 players. Oscar will get his free kill. Quickly traded down, though. They're keeping it competitive, forZe. And now they just need someone to step up to the plate in a big way. Shock is still in Palace, and he's still got the drop on multiple of these players, but it's all on the timings now. Zorti drops a smoke to give himself a little more room. He knows he has to isolate one of these fights. Jerry picks up the secondary AWP on low HP, and Sinners have to start this retake now. Flashes over the top, but they're not really blinding anyone. Shock yet to make his move out of the palace as he drops a smoke to give himself a little more time, but that bomb is so far gone, and Jerry with the free kill surely has secured it here. Shock's doing all he can, has found 2 on the AK, but the bomb is ticking desperately low. They've got to deal with the CT player, and there's just not enough time left on that clock. That bomb is going off whether you like it or not, Zedco. forZe have 18, and they have one opportunity, 19 the magic number, to shut this all down.
Oh, that one was a little bit rough. You've got to wonder why Zedco also wrapped around on towards default rather than just going straight towards that bomb. Pretty hectic, I suppose. Maybe it was hard to hear exactly where the bomb was planted, but yeah, they needed him hopping straight on that bomb and just trusting that he was going to be covered off. Unfortunately, not the case. Now you've got forZe, of course, up on 18, and well, it looks like we might be needing Ancient unless Sinners can manage to send us into another overtime right now, which I think everyone would actually be happy with considering how close this game has been so far. Again, though, heavy focus around ramp. Timing could have been pretty awesome there if the shot was fired off on the Deagle. Unfortunately not, though. Shock has actually just about crossed over, and once this begins to fade now, there's a player, I was going to say close by, that he could potentially catch. Did fade off back towards his teammates, rather, though, not wanting to stick around and giving really any chances away. Lit, though. Nice catch on NeoFrag. Smoke down towards jungle, and this is going to set up the A split perfectly now.
Shock desperately isolated behind double with it all to do. Oscar's going to try and make a harried rotation just to get anywhere near a supporting angle for him. That M4 stays trained on Palace. Zorti will hit his shot as well. Shot gets 1, but he burns alive as a consequence, and 2 on 4. Ancient is beckoning, lads. B-Stick, and well, just B-Stick as Zedco is felled by Kenzie. Will try and do what he can, but this is an impossible situation. Zorti is trained on his position, does back off, gives him a little more room to work with. A 1v4 clutch to keep the heroics, to keep double OT on the cards. He finds the first man, but there's 2 players just waiting for him in connector. B-Stick, he has been the clutch king for Sinners, but he needs so much more. It's not going to happen. 19-17. We will need that third map. We're going to need Ancient to separate these 2 rosters, and that was a fiery